Everyone, welcome to a new video. I'm sure if you have clicked on this video, you're probably going for fall 22 or fall 23. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing after you finish the video. I'm not asking you to subscribe before, but I'll give you a quick introduction of me. My name is Parth Vijayvergiya. I'm a graduate of Purdue University. I graduated in 2019. I'm currently working in Tucson. I've worked before in Phoenix. I work for a construction company, one of the biggest GCs in the US. I have gone through this journey of studying abroad. I have done this. I've graduated from one of the top universities. I've gotten 8 admits, 5 from the US universities, 3 from European universities, and I've created this whole channel based upon US admissions and how things work out for master's students. If you're a new student, you're master's students and a PhD students, this video is completely relevant for you. If you do not understand US university application procedure, watch this. You'll understand it so much more better, and you'll save so much time researching on your own. All right, starting with the first point, applying for masters. Now you're thinking about your masters. Why you're thinking about your masters? Maybe you just graduated school and you're thinking like, I should finish all of my studies. Maybe you finished working for 2-3 years and you want a career change, and maybe you just want to change of your lifestyle. You want to make more money. You want to achieve more things. You want to break the barriers you have set for yourself or your families have set for yourself. You want to get past it, and that's why you want to do your master's, or that's why you want to do your PhD. You also might want to do your master's and PhD because you're interested in research. It's not about just work, right? It's about research as well. Maybe you're interested in research. You want to research with the top minds in the world, like with people from MIT and Stanford and top engineering schools across the US. There's no doubt about it. United States has one of the top most schools all across the world, right? You have MIT, Stanford, UC Berkeley, so many Ivy Leagues like Princeton. All of these programs have been going for over 150 years, and there's so much alumni has gotten out of these universities that it makes sense. Why wouldn't you choose the best for yourself? So that's why you are thinking about applying for masters. Now, the biggest question when you're applying for your masters, like, where do I start? And let me tell you where to start. Before we get into the video, one thing I would recommend is, like, do not go to any kind of consultant when you're doing your study abroad research. I get it, sometimes if you're working, you're 3-4 years, 5 years, a consultant might make your life easier. But a lot of times these consultants have tie-ups with some universities where they want to send students to, and if they ask you to apply to more safer universities than the universities you deserve. And that's why I really hate most of the consultants. I said most of the consultants because there are some good ones which really help you, but most of them, they're just trying to get the most money out of you. So beware of that. So number 2 point, taking a steps toward your studying abroad. Now, what you need to do is you need to take a paper and you need to write everything about yourself. You need to write down what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, what have you done up until now, and what can you do better to improve your profile when it comes to studying abroad. Remember, US admission committees are looking for a whole person. They're not looking for just your academics. When it comes to US admissions, they take a holistic approach. They take your marks, they take your extracurriculars, they take your committee experience, they take your academics, they take your experiences, work experiences. They take all of these things in factor, and then they are asking you to apply for the university, and that's how they're judging you as well. What they want to do is they want to make sure that if they're taking a student into their program, that student has a bunch of other qualities, just not academia. And that's why US university procedure becomes a little more difficult, because in India we are all about academics, right? IIT, NITs, UPSC, any of these exams, it's all about let's get the marks. The higher the marks, the better it is. Let's get the marks. If we get I don't know, top 100 rank, then only we can get computer science IIT Bombay. Otherwise we cannot. And that's a little bit rough, because a student might pick up computer science even though if he's not interested just because he got a good rank. That doesn't make sense. So that's why US admissions is taking in holistic approach. They ask you to write statement of purpose. They ask your GRE scores. They ask your academic scores. They ask what extracurriculars you're done. They take in that value. Now, I always tell the students that if you have experience, then it makes more sense, right? 2 years of experience, that's a plus point. You have internships, that's a plus point. And most of the American students, before they graduate their bachelor's, they have 3 or 2 internships at least. And that's where Indian students lack a little bit. So if you don't have your internships yet, if you're in second or third year, get that internship in. That's going to be useful. Number 3, understanding US admissions. As I mentioned in the point before, US admissions is a holistic approach. There's a rectangle which I came up with. These are the factors which the universities take in account when they're looking at you. They'll look at your academia, they'll look at your statement of purpose, they'll look at your letter of recommendations, they'll look at your extracurriculars, they'll look at your GRE score, your TOEFL score. All of these factors they look at, and then they figure out if you would be worthy enough to sit in their class or not. Again, as I mentioned before, what US universities or US admission committees are trying to do is they are trying to get as many great brains as they can, and they're trying to create an environment of discussion. If you have more discussion in the class, you'll learn more, and that's what they're trying to do. I know some universities are lacking a little bit on that, but some universities are really good with taking everything in account. But make sure it's an holistic approach. Make sure you understand it's an overall application procedure. It's just not your marks. Number 4, understanding the exams you have to take when you're applying for US universities. You might have to take GRE, that is Graduate Record Examination. You might have to take GMAT, which is for MBAs and economics course and some other course, and I don't remember the full form right now. You might have to take TOEFL, that is Test of English Language, Test of English as a Foreign Language, or you might have to take IELTS, which is International English Language Test System. That's a weird acronym they have, or that's a weird full form they have for IELTS, but that's what it is. GRE and GMAT both will have English and maths. It's GRE is 340, GMAT is, I believe, from 800 marks, I think, or 850. But you have to take GRE, you have to take GMAT. A lot of universities have waived off the requirements of you taking GRE. So a lot of CS programs don't even require you to take GRE. So make sure you check before you are applying for the universities that do they require GRE or not, or do they require GMAT or not. But you will definitely need TOEFL and IELTS. In case of TOEFL and IELTS, they're pretty easy exam. I scored 106 out of 120 with like 24 to 48 hours of study. Nothing big. If you understand English, if you can speak English well, read English well, you'll be fine. Both of these tests, TOEFL and IELTS, have writing, speaking, reading, and listening. Both of them, so you have to understand and comprehend. What the universities or what the US admissions or what the Australian admissions or foreign countries are trying to do with IELTS and TOEFL is like they want to make sure that you guys understand the lectures which they're giving you. IELTS is more commonly used if you're planning to go to Canada or Australia. You can take IELTS. I would recommend IELTS. But if you're only planning to do US, you might be good just with TOEFL. Depending on the universities, all of the universities programs have minimum requirements. You can go and look for those minimum requirements, that if they require TOEFL or if they require IELTS, and just take that exact exam. Number 5, shortlisting the universities. Now, you might want to do this before you take your GRE exam or you take your TOEFL exam. Shortlisting university is all about chances. You have to figure out if you have a 50% chance, or you have 60% chance, or you have 70% chance of getting into a certain university. You cannot be 100% sure that I'll get into this universities. I've seen people with great profiles not even getting into the safest universities they have applied to, and I've seen students with like 20 backs, like 20, they failed the exams, 20 courses or something, and they have gotten into the best programs because they're looking at your overall profile and not just your marks. So shortlisting universities, you would want to go look at a bunch of universities. I made a previous video. You can go check that video out. I think it's going to totally help you. But again, it's a matter of chance. You roll 2 dices. You have 1 on 12 chances to hit a 12, or 1 on 12 chances to hit a total of 2, right? You don't have more chances like that. So you have to make sure that you figure out your chances. Um, it's the most difficult procedure in the whole process, like of admissions, shortlisting universities. People find it more difficult. I found it more difficult than my visa interview itself, but your seniors can help you in that. There are a bunch of websites which can help you with shortlisting universities. You can start with them and then go from there. Number 6, statement of purpose. What is your purpose of your education? People forget this point so many times when they are applying to US universities, that you have to understand your purpose. You're doing masters for a reason. You're doing your undergrad for a reason. You're doing your PhD for a reason. You're applying to that university for a reason. There's a reason behind everything. When I applied to Purdue, my reason for applying to Purdue was I knew that their construction management program is one of the best in the country. I've always tried to excel in my studies, and the reason why I went to Purdue was because of that excellency and having the urge to be in the top program, or having the urge to be in the top bracket where I'm sitting in the top. And that urge, I put it down in a statement of purpose. Statement of purpose is a little bit tricky to write. A lot of people follow their CV and write everything down. That's not the way you write your statement of purpose. You have to create a story. You have to give them a gist. There was a video which I was watching about Disney movies. Like every Disney movie has a little bit of background, have the story itself, and have a resolution. They always have a problem. They try to solve the problem in the whole movie, and then they resolve. And that's like the kind of storyline which all of the good movies follow. If you talk about Interstellar, right? You have watched Interstellar. They're trying to solve the problem of world hunger and trying to find a new planet. Matthew McConaughey travels to different world. He tells the whole story. In the whole story, they're trying to solve this problem, and at the end, there's a resolution. They find a new planet, and Matthew McConaughey meets her daughter, and then there's this like nice climax. And that's what they want to see in statement of purpose as well. There are a bunch of videos available, I think on LinkedIn and on YouTube as well, from different universities, like top universities like Princeton and Yale. Their admissions committee telling you how to write a statement of purpose. So check those videos. Number 7, the applications. Now that you have done all of this procedure, applications is pretty easier as compared to all of the what you have done already. You have to fill in all of the information, give information about your internships, give information about your marks, give information on your address, your passport, all of the information to the university. Then comes the difficult part. That comes the part of waiting. You have to wait. You might have to wait 3 months. You might have to wait 2 months for your before you hear back from your university. The reason being, some universities have rolling admissions. That means they will get the application, they'll review your application and send the admission right away. There are some universities which has a deadline, and they will only release the admissions or release the result of their applications after that deadline. So let's say the application deadline is February 31st, and the university has given you that they will release the admission on March 1st. They will take their sweet time. They might have reviewed your application beforehand or only, but they will take their sweet time and review your application. One more thing I forgot to mention in application section is that try applying at least 3 weeks before the deadline. Don't wait until the last moment. Waiting until the last moment is the worst thing you can do. There's a lot of stress associated with it. And if the university needs extra document and you don't submit it on time, your $100 or $90 or whatever the universities take for applying goes to waste. So you need to make sure you know those kind of things. Number 9, the post-admission process. I've kind of compiled all of the post-admission process into one, because there's like just so much. But the harder part is over now. Once you have gotten admit, you have chosen which university you want to go for. Let's begin your processes. You have to get an I-20. It's a document saying which university you're going to, what's your fees, what's your course you're planning to do, all of these things. They show that on that document. You get your I-20 by submitting the funding documents. You have to show to the university that you will be able to fund your education for a year You submit that document, they send you the I-20. Once you get your I-20, you apply for your visa. You have to fill out a DS-160. Once you apply for your visa, and visa is a tricky part. People hate it. I hated it. There's a lot of anxiety comes along with the visa process. You have done this whole 6 months, 7 months exercise, and now you're waiting to get a visa. And United States is difficult to get a visa, and it's just thing. Europe is easier. Australia might be easier. Canada is like easy, but United States is very meticulous when it comes to admissions. When it comes to giving out US visas, so you'll have to apply for F1 visa, take that interview, show them that you can fund your education, show them that you're not planning to work part-time while you're studying. You're planning to just study, finish your course, use your OPT and STEM, and come back. And once you finish your visa, that's it. That's basically what your 6 months, 7 months looks like if you're starting now to apply to US universities. And I'll be honest, it is pretty awesome once you get all of those things done. And when you're flying out, the feeling, you only get that feeling once, to travel 20 hours or 30 hours in a flight, 16 hours. Like if you sit from Delhi and come to Chicago or New York, that's a 16 hours long flight. It's interesting. You come here, you see the sky clear as hell, you breathe the air, and it's like super clean, and you can breathe better. Everything is very picturesque. Your photos started. It's a whole thing. And once you finish your studies, you get a job, and it's a life changer, and you gain more confidence. It's just a lot of things going on when it comes to US admissions. And that's it. Thank you so much, guys, for watching this one. I hope you found this useful. I've linked a bunch of videos which I've made previously on statement of purpose, US admissions, and the visa process. H1B is a big thing when it comes to US, and students wondering if we should go to the US or not. So check those videos out and let me know if you have any questions. Thank you so much, guys, for watching this one. I hope you found this useful, and until then, I'll see you in the next one. Take care, everyone. Bye bye.